do examples of roots of numbers with variables. These are the 7 problems I'm going to do. And so if you're looking for one in particular, you can kind of skip through the slides. This will be number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, to get started, we're going to work on this one. So what you can do here is split this up, and this equals, let me clean this up, this equals the square root of 9 times the square root of x to the 12th. The square root of 9 we know is just 3, so we took care of that one. For this one, I'm going to write this, the square root of x is the same as x to the 1/2. So what I'm going to do is write this as x 12th to the 1/2 and use my power property of exponents, and this is going to be x to the 6th. So this would be x to the 6th. Right? Or you could do it like this. You could just write square root of x to the 6th squared and let these kind of cancel each other out there. Okay, the next one we have is this one. So I'm going to do the cube root of 27 times the cube root of c to the 9th and y to the 15th. So the cube root of 27 is just 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and write this as c to the 9th, y to the 15th, to the 1/3, because that's your root. And when I use my power property of exponents, I get c. You just multiply these. So this will be c cubed y to the 5th. So that's going to be c cubed y to the 5th. And that's your final answer. The next one, we're going to do the cube root of -8 and the cube root of x squared y. Well, basically, this just equals -2, because -2 times -2 times -2 is -8. And if I write this in the way I was doing it before, like write x squared y to the 1/3, we're going to get x 2/3 y to the 1/3. And you can't simplify that, so we're just going to leave this simply as cube root of x squared y. Okay? The next one is this, so I'll go ahead and take care of that. The 6th root of 64 is just 2. Now I want to take the 6th root of c to the 6th, a to the 5th. So that's going to be c to the 6th, a to the 5th, to the 1/6 power. When you use your power property, you just get c, and this is still a to the 5/6. You can't reduce that one, so we're going to leave him inside the radical. And so we're going to get, since it's an even power, this is going to be absolute value of c times the square 6th root, of a to the 5th. Okay, the next one is this one. Now I'm going to go ahead and break this up. So the square root of 460 can be written as 4 times 115. And that means you can take the square root of 4, which is just 2, and we're left with the square root of 15 in the radical. Now let's take care of our variables. This is going to be x cubed y to the 4th. And then I'm going to write this radical as a rational and clean this up. So this is x to the 3/2 y to the 4/2. Now what happens here is 2 goes into 3 one time. So I can pull out an x of here. So I'm going to pull that out. Well, let's take care of this one first. That one right there is just going to be y squared. So I'm just going to put y squared. This one, however, you just divide, and it goes into one time, and we have a remainder of 1. So we're going to pull out one of the x's, and it has to be absolute value because you're pulling out from the square because it's the square root. And then we still have 1 on the inside because there was a remainder of 1. So the remainder stays inside. Now to rewrite this, I'm just going to write 2y squared, absolute value of x, and then we still had this square root of 15 here, so square root of 15x, and I just combined these two here. Alright, the next one, square root of 625 is just 25. And then if I take x to the 6th, y squared to the 1/2, that's going to be x cubed y. And so that's just going to be absolute value because this is an even n. Remember, this is like 2 right there. So it's going to be absolute value of x cubed y. And the last two are this one. So this one, I'm just going to write this as 3c plus 2 cubed to the 1/3. Well, this, when you multiply those two, that just equals 1. So we're left with 3c plus 2. We don't need absolute value because this is an even an odd number. And the last one, we are going to put the absolute value because it's an even number. So the square root is really to the 1/2. So it's going to be absolute value of 2a minus 1. Because when you multiply those, you just get 1. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. The next set I'm going to do is a little harder. Bye-bye.